The sun melted into the Gulf of Mexico in slow gold streaks, throwing diamonds of light across the waves. Emily Hart pressed her forehead against the airplane window and smiled. She had promised herself this trip, for years a solo vacation before starting her new job at a design firm in Chicago. She was 26, bright-eyed and restless, the kind of woman whose laughter filled a room. Friends said she had a habit of trusting to Emily. That week in Seabrook Key, a postcard-perfect island just off Florida's Gulf Coast, she planned to do 3 things: swim, sketch, and finally breathe. When she checked into the Seabreeze Resort, the air smelled like coconut oil and salt. The lobby gleamed in coral colors. Ceiling fans hummed lazily overhead. The receptionist, a young man named Tyler, greeted her with a grin. "First time in Seabrook?" he asked. "Yeah," Emily said, signing the guest card. "Looks like heaven." Tyler chuckled. "It is just. Don't go walking the beach too late. The tides can surprise you." It sounded like friendly advice. She didn't know it would be the last warning she'd ever receive. That evening, Emily wandered to the pier where the locals gathered for live music. The smell of fried shrimp and beer drifted through the warm air. She met a small group of travelers, a couple from Atlanta, a British backpacker named Ryan, and a woman about her age named Mara who said she worked at the resort's spa. They laughed, swapped stories, and took photos with the ocean at their backs. Ryan teased her gently. "You've got that wide-eyed tourist look," he said. "Maybe I just like beautiful places," Emily replied. Around 11 p.m., the group moved to a nearby tiki bar called Asterisk, the Driftwood Lounge. Asterisk locals said it never closed, and most nights, neither did its secrets. Security footage later showed Emily dancing, barefoot, her white sundress fluttering in the breeze. At 1:27 a.m., she was seen leaving the bar with Ryan and Mara. None of them looked drunk. The cameras caught them heading toward the beach boardwalk, laughing. That was the last confirmed sighting of Emily Hart alive. At 9 o'clock the next morning, housekeeper Rosa Diaz knocked on room 214. No answer. The bed looked untouched. Emily's suitcase lay open on the dresser, half unpacked. Her sketchbook and phone charger were on the nightstand, but her phone, wallet, and sandals were gone. By noon, the resort called the sheriff's office. Deputy Lisa Monroe, a veteran of the small but busy department, arrived within the hour. "Probably wandered off, maybe missed curfew," said the resort manager. Lisa glanced around the room, perfectly tidy, almost staged. The air conditioning hummed low. On the balcony, a wine glass stood half full. Something about the stillness felt wrong when the news broke that a young tourist was missing. Seabrook Key shifted from sleepy to frantic. Volunteers combed the beach. Police drones scanned the coastline. Divers scoured the reefs near the old lighthouse. Ryan, the British backpacker, told police he walked Emily halfway down the beach before. She said she wanted to feel the water one last time and stayed behind. "I turned around maybe 5 minutes later," he said. "She was gone." Mara, the spa worker, said she left early to meet her boyfriend, though phone records later showed no outgoing calls that night. The bartender at the Driftwood remembered Emily too. She was laughing, happy. She said something about how beautiful the moon looked on the water. The bartender paused. There was this guy watching her, maybe mid-30s, wearing a baseball cap. Didn't see him before, didn't see him after. The police never found the man in the cap. 3 days later, a fisherman found Emily's sandals and a piece of fabric tangled in mangrove roots near Coral Bay, a half-mile from the resort. The lab confirmed it was part of her dress. Tide charts suggested that if she'd fallen or been pulled into the water around midnight, the currents could have carried debris to that spot, but no trace of her body appeared. Then, a week after her disappearance, a beachgoer found Emily's phone. It was face down in the sand, water damaged but recoverable. Technicians managed to retrieve one short video, just 42 seconds long. It showed the ocean under moonlight. The camera swayed as if Emily were walking along the surf, her laughter faint beneath the wind. Then, at the 20-second mark, a shadow crossed behind her, a figure reflected faintly in the wet sand. The image went dark. Detectives followed every lead. Ryan was questioned twice, then released his alibi checked out. Mara stopped showing up to work 2 weeks later and left town. Her apartment was empty, except for a note. Asterisk, can't stay here anymore. Asterisk, local gossip turned wild. Some said Emily had been kidnapped by smugglers. Others claimed she ran away to start over. But Deputy Monroe kept digging. In reviewing security footage from a nearby marina, she noticed a dark SUV leaving the beach access road at 2:08 a.m., about 40 minutes after Emily was last seen. The vehicle's license plate was partially obscured. The owner was never identified. By autumn, Seabrook Key had returned to normal. Tourists filled the beaches again, and the driftwood's neon lights flickered back to life. But for locals, the case left a shadow. Parents warned their daughters not to walk the shore alone. Fishermen claimed to hear cries at night near Coral Bay when the tide was low. Emily's parents flew down from Illinois every few months. Laying flowers near the dunes, her mother would sit for hours, watching the horizon. "I keep thinking she's out there somewhere," she said once, her voice breaking. She loved the ocean too much to leave it behind. In March of the following year, a construction crew digging near the new marina found a small metal charm buried in the sand. A silver pendant shaped like a wave. It was confirmed to be Emily's. The find reignited the case, and for a brief moment, Seabrook buzzed again with reporters and police scanners. But no new evidence surfaced. DNA traces on the pendant were inconclusive, mostly degraded by salt and time. Then the witness came forward, a retired boat captain named Earl Jennings. Told detectives that on the night of Emily's disappearance, he'd seen a man loading something heavy onto a small motorboat near the lighthouse around 2 a.m. He couldn't make out his face, only that he wore a *** baseball cap. ***. Years passed. The Seabreeze Resort changed names. New tourists came, unaware of the story buried in its sands. The room where Emily stayed became storage space. Deputy Monroe eventually retired, but the case never left her mind. She kept a single photo on her desk, Emily on the pier, hair tangled by the wind, smiling at something beyond the frame. Sometimes, Monroe replayed the last 42-second video, slowing it down, straining to see more in the darkness. Every time the same thought crept in, whoever was in that shadow knew exactly where to stand, just beyond the light. 5 years later, a storm hit Seabrook Key, a violent one that tore apart half the coastline. When the winds settled, beachgoers found fragments of debris washed ashore, broken shells, driftwood, and an old waterproof camera. Inside were corroded memory cards. Most were unreadable. One, however, contained a few damaged photos, time-stamped the night Emily vanished. In the final image, blurred and half-washed away by water damage, Emily's silhouette stood at the edge of the surf. The moon glowed above her like a halo. Behind her, a figure approached, his reflection faintly mirrored in the wet sand. The photo became the final entry in the Seabrook case file. No suspect was ever charged. No body was ever found. And at night, when the tide draws low near Coral Bay, locals still swear they see a pale figure standing in the surf barefoot, watching the horizon. They say if you listen closely, you can hear her laughter in the wind. The ocean remembers